Did the Tesla bubble just pop? And is the stock market crashing? That's what we're going to be covering in today's video. What's going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Brandon. As always, we do have our Investing Academy as that first link down below. But today, as hesitant as I was to film this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my views and my opinions on the Tesla situation, which as of filming this video on Tuesday evening, shares are down about 22%, a very big drop in a single day, as well as just the weakness that we've seen in our overall market. And I'll hopefully provide some clarity on what you should be doing as an investor regarding Tesla stock itself, or just in general. Should you be buying, selling, panicking? We'll cover all that today. But we will start off with Tesla. And if you've been a subscriber of the channel for a while, you'll know that Tesla is not a company that gets a lot of coverage here. In fact, I think we've touched on the topic once in a 3 stocks to buy video in 2019. But other than that, it's actually a company that I avoid for the most part. And as much as this will be a controversial statement, and I don't really care if you don't agree with me. Well, if you don't agree with me, that's completely fine. Everyone has the right to their own opinion. I'm just sharing with you my thoughts. But as bold as this is to say, the reason why we don't cover Tesla often is because I consider Tesla a speculation rather than an investment. And I'll explain why in a second. But as a YouTuber here in the Canadian finance space, I really feel like it's my job to keep you guys, the viewers, on the right path. And especially the new investors, the new people to the stock market. I don't like flooding you guys with the hype stocks, the hottest, exciting Nikola's and Aurora Cannabises and those types of stocks. In fact, I usually say the opposite. Well, I don't usually say too much, but I usually either ignore them or give up opposing stance, because I feel that those are the types of companies that can really come back to bite investors in the butt. And I know in Tesla's case, it's made a lot of people a lot of money, but it's in a case like now that we're starting to realize is not all fun and games. It's not all rainbows and sunshine, because with a stock that's performed like this, it definitely should have some red flags raising up. And reason why I consider personally Tesla a speculation rather than an investment, it actually goes back to one of Warren Buffett's one of his cornerstone principles when it comes to picking a stock for your portfolio, is that if you're going to be going out and buying part of a business, if you're going to go buy a share of a company, take a stake in a business, which is really what you're doing when you buy stock, you want to invest your money in a company that is reliable and one that is proven, one that is predictably able to grow their earnings, one that at least has history to back that up. And of course, with Tesla being the very unique company that it is, with not much history, and it's of course a new company that's really starting to pick up some steam, you don't get that certainty whatsoever. In fact, Tesla is the definition of a sporadic stock with earnings and hitting their numbers and missing their numbers and all sorts of stuff going on with Elon Musk. It's really a very, very interesting case. But the point being is that it's very, very hard to value a company properly, the same way you would with a McDonald's or a Walmart or an Apple for that matter, because it's so sporadic and because there's so much hype that, for as long as I can remember, has been surrounding Tesla and really influencing the share price in every which way, shape, or form. Now, I do want to clarify something before we go any deeper into this video. For all the Tesla lovers and all the people right now that are probably very unhappy with what I have to say, I personally love Tesla as a company. I love the cars. I love Elon Musk. Obviously, it's amazing what they're doing. It's truly visionary. I have a lot of belief, a lot of hope for this company, but that doesn't mean that you can just buy a stock at any price. And we went through the same example. We drew a very similar comparison a number of months back during the marijuana bubble, the marijuana stocks bubble, or all the hype around ACB and T-God and Canopy Growth. All of these companies were just the rage because people thought it was the next big thing and it was getting legalized, and these companies were just so phenomenal. yet they weren't making a lot of money. The shares were trading at ridiculous prices for what the company was actually doing. And to me, I do see a bit of a comparison here. I'm not trying to say electric vehicles and the marijuana sector are the same thing, but the hype that we're seeing on the internet, the type of things that I'm seeing in the comments about the Nikolas and the Teslas, it is just, honestly, there's such a far disconnect from the stock and then the price, or from the stock price and then the company itself. And I saw a clip with just showing Tesla's market cap relative to the rest of the companies in the world. It's up there with some of the behemoths, the companies that pull in billions and billions of dollars each year consistently in revenue, companies that have been doing this for, in many cases, 50, 100, 150 plus years. This company's up here valued at that price. So for someone to ask me, is Tesla stock in a bubble? First of all, I totally understand how the stock market works. I totally understand the fact that we price in the future, and that if Tesla is this next big thing, which it's starting to take that shape, there is a lot of potential here for the future. But at this given point, if I were to be asked, is Tesla in a bubble? I would say, heck yeah. Just looking at that chart, this has, to me, Bitcoin written all over it. It has Aurora Cannabis, CGC. Like, it's such a screaming example of this, because when a stock is priced this high and when there's so much money flowing in, any major mistake that happens, or not mistake, but any major downfall that the company comes across, any sort of variable that doesn't justify what the stock is trading at, could have the stock sent the opposite direction in the snap of a finger. And we're seeing that today. I think it was Nikola that struck a $2 billion deal with General Motors. And that's, of course, competition for Tesla. That's one of many competitors that's going to be coming. It does show promise, however, in the electric vehicle space, which is why that stock shot up like mad. But again, it's such a close comparable to the MJ sector. I think back to when Canopy got that investment from Constellation Brands. There was a $5 billion investment on the table, and everyone thought this is the next big thing. There's so much hype. There's so much excitement around this big field, but that does not justify buying a stock at any price. It doesn't mean you can just go out and buy a stock today at whatever price it's trading at because it's in a new exciting sector. That's actually how people get burned, and that's really the place where people get burned, because they're drawn into this money grab and people are really trying to jump in and out and making a lot of quick money with Tesla. The point I'm trying to get across here, guys, is that would I be buying Tesla today? Personally, to me, this is one that I would stay away from at the moment. Given the state of our world, given the volatility that we're seeing in our market, and again, just given the price and the recent run up and the craziness with this company, and again, all the historical examples that we can look back on, I'd say maybe sit this one out at this point. If we were a year ago, it's a different story. If we're a number of months ago, it's a different story where the stock has not experienced this run up. But today, it really brings us back to that first point that I covered in this video, is that I believe Tesla is a speculation, not an investment. You can't just go buy a stock at any given price because you like the company. And if you are somebody that has bought the stock recently, or if you're somebody that is considering it, I'd look yourself in the mirror, I'd sit yourself down and actually ask yourself the very hard question: are you investing in Tesla because you feel you're getting a great price on this company? Like, are you actually investing in Tesla itself, and is today a price you're willing to pay? Or are you just buying the stock because it's performed so well? And are you hoping that you buy today and sell soon for a bit of a higher price? We all know the not the unwritten rule, we know the golden rule when it comes to investing, and it's buy low, sell high. With a case like Tesla, the reason I consider this a speculation is because most people are buying it with the expectation, with the hope that they can sell it a week from now, a month from now, 3 months from now at a higher price. It's kind of like there's a thing called the greater fool's theory. It's just, I can buy an asset today and hope that somebody down the road pays a higher price for me. That's really what it is. And again, I don't want to take away from Tesla as a company, because I do think they're doing tremendous things. I think that they are seriously changing the world, but you do still have to have that connect between the company and the share price. And with a company like Tesla, I think that is just very, very, very hard to do. Sorry for rambling on here, but if you are someone that is down, like you literally bought at the peak, which I saw a bunch of comments, people are, because they bought right after the split, or they bought right after. If you're somebody that took a significant position size, like I'm talking here, you took your savings and you popped into Tesla, you took out a second mortgage, and people do that. It's not an uncommon thing. As tough as it is, I'd actually consider looking at it and saying, I mean, is it the right thing to do to cut my losses? If this bubble has popped, I know nobody wants to think about this, but if this bubble's popped and if this stock is going to come back down to reality, are you okay with losing your $50,000, your $100,000, whatever you put in there? Or do you just take the quick loss, take it as a lesson to not chase previous gains and chase the hype stocks, and then move on? That's of course not advice for anybody, but that's a question that I would ask myself if I was in this case, because we've seen what happens when bubbles pop with Bitcoin, with Aurora cannabis, with marijuana stocks. It's not a pretty sight, and people will just think it's a dip. You'll maybe buy more, even you'll average down, but a stock could just keep dropping back to reality. In fact, I actually saw a video from Hamish, one of my friends from the channel and a friend that I watch over in Australia. He gave a very good example of Microsoft recently. Well, the example dates back to the 1990s and the 2000s. When Microsoft crashed, it did not break even. It did not hit its previous trading levels for 16 years when the dot-com bubble crashed. And of course, that was Microsoft, that was Cisco, that was all these companies trading at crazy valuations. But what's to say Tesla's not in this case? Again, to look at the list of market caps, do you believe Tesla is a company that's valued at this large of a company? That's, I guess, a decision for you to make. But that's really my honest opinion on Tesla. It's why I don't cover it on the channel too often. We like to stick with companies that we know are going to work. And that does sometimes mean we miss opportunities. But at the same time, I mean, today I bought shares of TD Bank. And you can't really go wrong with that, and especially today. I think I'm getting a good price on it. I'm looking at a 5% dividend. This is a company that's proven to make billions and billions of dollars. I know it's old-fashioned, but that's just my way of approaching Tesla stock. If you agree with me, you can feel free to leave a comment down below. If you don't agree with me, you can feel free to leave a comment down below. But in terms of the broader market, I don't know how long this video is getting, but I'll keep this one quick. Let me pop up a chart here of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And this is a 5-year chart, and I actually saw this. I thought it was a very, very good teaching point, and it's a very short-term example of this. But you take a look at this COVID crash that we experienced in March, and how devastating that was, and how terrible everybody felt, and how scary it was. Over this short time period, we are looking at a phenomenal buying opportunity, with shares going on discount, shares getting cheaper, the broader market selling off. And if we were able to buy at these lows when the stock market dropped 35-40%, you'd be sitting pretty right now. This is really a phenomenal example of how we buy into weakness and we get rewarded for that. And of course, this is a short sample size, but to me, I thought that this chart here really did a good job of explaining that. And where we stand today, looking at our market right now, we've pretty much just been in a straight line drive up. And that to me is actually, when you see that, you should start getting cautious. You should start being more selective. Actually, again, being in the position that I'm in as a YouTuber, there's a lot of things that I see that kind of signify an overheated market. And in all honesty, I have been seeing them over the past little while. From the comment section, from the types of videos that are getting coverage. Like, it's insane how many views and how many people out there are searching for these speculative investments, the high risk, the high growth stocks, people taking on leverage, taking on loans to go invest in these companies. Those to me are just telltale signs that a market is overheated. And really, how you approach that in a case like today, if you're the investor and you're saying, well, that's all happened, where do we go from here? I think the best way to approach it, and this is of course if you're a long-term investor, is that as the market gets hotter and hotter and hotter, whether that be, if an investment gets hotter and hotter and hotter, whether that's Tesla stock, whether that's the S&P or the NASDAQ or whatever you're looking at, you actually should tend to invest less and actually be more selective with where you deploy your money in a very hot market like we're in. And you just hope and you just pray that the market sells off, as it did today, as it did the past couple trading days, because all that does is represent these opportunities. And if we could get another opportunity like this over the next few months, that's really all we could ask for as long-term investors. Always keep some cash aside, always be ready to deploy that in the case. But that is really my jumbled up thoughts on what's going on right now. I know it's not an answer for everyone. I know it's not true clarity because we never really know, and there's all sorts of things going on, but we can't control so many things in the stock market. We can't control how it performs, what it does, this or that. We can just control what we do and our portfolios. And the main takeaway I would try to emphasize to everybody is just remember the golden rule with investing. It's buy low, sell high, because I think what a lot of people are doing these days with this Apple stock split, with the Tesla stock split, with the market in general, is they're buying high and hoping that they can sell for a little bit higher, or they're trying to jump in and out and make some quick profits before things take a turn for the worst. If you want the best advice that I can give as an investor, be patient, wait for the market to come down to deploy big money in. Otherwise, just kind of be selective, pick and choose where you invest. You can put money in every month, whatever the case is. But that's really my crazy thoughts for this video. If you guys enjoyed, if you agreed with anything I had to say, you can leave a thumbs up on this video. That is really, it's a great way of showing your support for this channel and for this video. I really debated back and forth so long about posting this video or filming this video for that matter. I was just like, do I want to cover it? Do I let it be? I really hope that my advice here, I really hope that my thoughts and opinions can help guide you guys in the right path and just keep grounded, keep everybody sane, rational. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Just keep on investing and keep doing it the right way. No need to chase the high flyers because you could very likely get burned, especially in a market like this. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, we post a video every week, usually 2, sometimes even 3. So subscribe for more content. If you are a beginner to the stock market and you want help, like if you're very, very new and you want help going through the entire process, setting up a portfolio the right way, setting up your accounts, choosing where to invest, getting your hand held through the entire process, we do have our Investing Academy down below. You get to see my portfolio, you get to work with our community, the other students. It's really super, super cool. But other than that, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this topic. Tesla, the market crash, really just leave a comment down below. It's getting pretty darn late here. I should really be asleep by now. But as always, I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.